Look, we get it. You want to perform better, maybe get ahead, learn faster, and honestly, just stop feeling like you're drowning in information all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we're offering kind of a shortcut. We're diving deep into one of the most talked about systems for high performance out there, the 5 a.m. Club.
That's right. We've gone through a whole lot of material on this philosophy and, well, this very specific routine. It's supposedly been taught for, what, over 20 years? To CEOs, big names.
Right, the elite performer.
Exactly. And our mission today isn't just to, give you the motivational speech. We want to really cut through that.
Yeah, get to the core.
We're digging into the science, the actual philosophy behind it, and the step-by-step routine, the victory hour, they call it, so you know precisely what you'd be signing up for.
Yeah, moving past just feeling pumped up to actually, like, systematic change. And the main idea, that sort of tagline that holds it all together, is pretty simple. Own your morning, elevate your life. And the big promise is that, amazing success isn't just for people born lucky or different. It suggests ordinary folks can achieve extraordinary things if they get the right habits down and make them automatic. Routinize them.
So let's start with the underlying philosophy, mastery. The source material uses these narrative characters to deliver the ideas. There's this wisdom figure, the Spellbinder, and a mentor type, the billionaire mentor, Mr. Riley.
Right, they're the voices teaching this stuff.
And they don't pull any punches. They start with a really intense call to action.
Very intense, yeah. The Spellbinder basically says life's too short to play small, that you're built for what they call master work level projects. And then there's this, well, pretty dramatic language about most people being, what was it, cyber zombies.
Cyber zombies, yeah. Which, when you unpack it, it really just means getting out of that passive scrolling, consuming rut, taking back control.
Okay, less dramatic, more about agency.
Exactly. The pain point they're really hitting on is that feeling, maybe you recognize it, of living the same week a few thousand times and calling it a life.
Ooh, yeah.
It's about seeing how seductive staying comfortable is, complacency. The source actually says it's 100 times more brutal than just going all in on what you really want.
That tracks. Often the hardest part is just overcoming that inertia, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
But the book isn't promising it'll be easy. It talks about the price of greatness. Mr. Riley, the mentor, he puts it plainly, world class begins where your comfort zone ends.
No pain, no gain, basically.
Pretty much. And they use some powerful examples from history to show the kind of, grit required. Like Charles Darwin, he spent 8 years, just studying barnacles.
Barnacles, wow.
Yeah, digging into these tiny details that ended up being crucial for his whole theory of evolution.
Or you think about someone like Vincent van Gogh. Over 1,000 drawings, hundreds of paintings, driven by something inside, with zero recognition during his life. No celebrity, nothing.
Exactly, and the source is clear. If you aim for that level of commitment, people might think you're weird. They'll label you a freak. That's just part of the deal, the cost of entry for doing something exceptional.
It's a high bar. A really high bar. But, is there a structure to make this less intimidating?
There is. They offer a kind of governing framework. It's called the 3-step success formula. It's pretty logical. Better daily awareness helps you make better daily choices. And those better daily choices naturally lead to better daily results.
So it shifts the focus from these huge, overwhelming goals to just nailing the small choices every single day. Micro choices.
Precisely. It makes that huge ambition feel more manageable day to day.
Excellent. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we take that intense mindset and make it practical, like tomorrow morning? Which brings us, I guess, to the big one, the ketone habit, waking up at 5 a.m.
Right. And they really hammer this point home. It's not just about the time you get up. It's crucial what you do in that first hour, between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. That's the victory hour.
The victory hour.
Okay. And that hour has a very specific structure, the 20-20-20 formula.
All right, let's break that down. The practical routine. First 20 minutes, so 5:00 a.m. to 5:20 a.m. is move. And we're not talking gentle yoga here, are we?
Definitely not. We're talking intense exercise. Getting sweaty. Think push-ups, burpees, jumping jacks, running on the spot, whatever gets your heart rate up fast.
Okay, I gotta say, intense, sweaty cardio, literally minutes after waking up. It sounds, pretty rough.
It does sound rough. But the why is purely physiological. That intense movement immediately tackles your cortisol levels.
The stress hormone.
Yeah, the main stress and fear hormone, which is naturally high when you first wake up. So you're actively lowering stress right off the bat.
Okay, fair enough. So you're fighting stress. What are you gaining? What's the upside of that? Sweaty torture.
The upside is you're flooding your brain with good stuff. Dopamine, that's the neurotransmitter for drive, motivation, focus.
Right.
And serotonin, which helps regulate happiness, mood stability. So the claim is, by 5:20 a.m., you've shut down the stress response, cranked up your drive. You're basically amped to lead your field, as they put it, before most people have even thought about coffee.
Amped by 5:20 a.m. Okay, then the next block, we shift gears completely, right? 5:20 a.m. to 5:40 a.m. is reflect, stillness, solitude.
Exactly. Total change of pace. This is about quiet. The actions are things like journaling, they call it keeping daily diaries, thinking about your core values, setting clear intentions for the day ahead, maybe meditation or just quiet contemplation.
And the purpose here, beyond just chilling out for 20 minutes.
Oh, it's much deeper than just chilling out. The idea is to consciously process and release any negative stuff from the day before. Suppressed emotions, little hurts, toxic thoughts.
Ah, like clearing the emotional slate.
Precisely. The source actually says tranquility is the new luxury. By getting quiet and reconnecting with your values, you build up what they call residual wisdom that guides your choices later in the day.
Residual wisdom, I like that.
Yeah. And it's in that quiet, distraction-free zone, they argue, that your creativity and imagination really get unlocked.
Okay. Move. Reflect.
Yeah.
What's the final 20 minutes?
The final block, 5:40 a.m. to 6:00 a.m., is grow. This is pure personal development time.
Learning time.
Learning time. And they're quite specific. Read books, especially biographies or autobiographies of great leaders or achievers. Study fields like innovation, psychology, history. Or listen to educational podcasts, audiobooks, watch documentaries.
So actively getting smarter, building skills.
Relentlessly increasing your value. That's the core idea. The philosophy is that external leadership, success on the outside, it always starts with growth on the inside. This is where you work on what the Spellbinder calls your 4 interior empires.
Oh, yeah. What are those?
Your mindset, psychology, Heartset, emotional life, Healthset, physical well-being, and Soulset, spirituality or sense of purpose. The belief is you only attract more success by becoming inherently more valuable across these domains.
Mindset, Heartset, Healthset, Soulset. Okay, that makes sense. So this leads us into the why. Why 5 a.m. specifically? Why does this time work better, according to the theory? There's neuroscience involved, right?
There is. It really centers on this internal tug-of-war we all have going on in our heads.
Okay.
It's basically a battle between what they call the ancient brain, that's your limbic system, your amygdala, the part focused on survival, safety, comfort, avoiding threats.
The caveman brain.
Kind of, yeah.
Right.
And then there's the mastery brain, which is your prefrontal cortex. That's the bit responsible for higher thinking, planning, analysis, self-control, growth.
Got it. Primitive brain versus evolved brain.
Exactly. And the problem is growth always involves stepping outside your comfort zone, taking risks, doing something new, and the ancient brain reads that as danger.
So it tries to stop you.
It tries to stop you. That's where procrastination, self-doubt, self-sabotage often come from. Your ancient brain trying to keep you safe in the familiar zone.
Okay, so if that ancient brain is fighting against growth, how does getting up at 5 a.m. help win that battle? Seems like it would just make the ancient brain scream louder.
Well, this is where it gets interesting. The environment of 5 a.m. is key. It's quiet. There are usually 0 distractions. No emails pinging, no social media notifications, no family demands yet.
True. It's peaceful.
That quiet, focused environment triggers something called transient hypofrontality.
Transient hypo.
Yeah.
What now?
Yeah, it's a mouthful. Transient hypofrontality. Basically, it means your prefrontal cortex, the thinking, worrying, analyzing part, temporarily quiets down. It kind of takes a back seat.
So the part of your brain that overthinks and second guesses everything goes offline for a bit.
Pretty much. Because your attention isn't being pulled in a million directions, that analytical part doesn't need to be so active.
And that's the key. Shutting off the worry center temporarily.
That's the key. This quieting of the prefrontal cortex causes a shift in your brainwave activity. You move from the normal waking state, beta waves, which are often associated with alertness, but also anxiety and stress, down into alpha and even theta waves. These are states associated with relaxation, creativity, intuition, and insight.
Oh?
And this alpha-theta state is the physiological gateway to what scientists call the flow state.
Flow. That feeling of being completely absorbed, peak performance.
Exactly. That state where time seems to disappear and you're performing at your absolute best, almost effortlessly. The argument is that the 5 a.m. routine basically tricks your brain into accessing this peak performance state before the day's chaos and distractions can hijack your focus.
Okay, wow. So you're setting yourself up for flow before the world wakes up. That's compelling. And it's a big but. We've got the philosophy, the intense routine, the brain science. Now the reality check. Consistency. An hour of focused effort, including intense exercise before sunrise every single day for how long do they say? 66 days?
Usually 66 days, yeah.
Yeah, that just sounds brutal, especially for, normal people with jobs, kids, real lives. Isn't burnout almost guaranteed?
That's a really critical point, and the source material doesn't sugarcoat the difficulty at all. Mr. Riley has this phrase, this brain tattoo, they call it. All change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end.
Hard, messy, gorgeous.
Okay. The whole system acknowledges the struggle. It's built around this idea of the 66-day minimum. That number comes from research, actually, from University College London, suggesting that's roughly the average time it takes for a new behavior to become automatic, neurologically encoded.
66 days to wire it in. So the great ideas don't matter if you don't stick with it for at least 2 months, basically.
Right. Application is everything.
Yeah.
And sustained application, so how do you manage that difficulty? They break the 66 days down into 3 distinct phases, each lasting 22 days.
Okay, breaking it down helps. What's phase 1?
Phase 1, days 1 to 22, is the destruction stage.
Destruction sounds intense.
It is. This is where you're actively fighting against your old, deeply ingrained habits, your default settings. The source says this phase requires high fuel, like a rocket needing massive thrust to escape gravity.
Escape velocity.
Exactly. And they warn you, it will feel uncomfortable, possibly like a mild form of torture.
Sound pretty.
Yeah. The advice for the stage is brutally simple. Continue at all costs. It's purely about forcing that consistency, pushing through the resistance, no matter how much your old self complains.
Okay, survive the first 22 days of torture. Then what? Phase 2.
Phase 2, days 23 to 44, is the installation stage. This is what they call the messy middle.
The messy middle. Okay, why messy?
Because this is when the real rewiring is happening. Neuroplasticity is in full swing. Your brain is literally building new neural pathways for this 5 a.m. routine. But it's not smooth yet.
Right.
It can feel confusing, maybe chaotic. You might have bursts of energy followed by dips. The source even describes it potentially feeling like a dark night of the soul. But the point is, this messiness, this struggle, is actually a good sign. It means the old you, the comfortable status quo you, is breaking down so the new upgraded version can emerge and the habit can actually get installed. The discomfort is necessary wiring work.
So you got to embrace the mess, basically.
You have to trust the process through the mess. And then, if you push through that, you reach the final phase.
Phase 3, the payoff stage.
Hopefully. Days 45 to 66 is the integration stage.
Integration. Sounds smoother.
It is. This is where the new habit starts to feel, normal, automatic. It integrates into your identity. The effort required drops significantly.
So it stops feeling like a constant battle.
Exactly. The core promise is that by the end of this stage, it actually becomes easier to run the 5 a.m. routine than not to run it. The new neural pathway is established. It's the path of least resistance now. It's your new normal.
Hard first, messy middle, gorgeous end. Okay, so wrapping this all up, we've gone through the philosophy, the intense 20-20-20 routine, the brain science behind it, the 66-day installation process. What does this mean for you, listening right now?
Well, a key takeaway is understanding cognitive bandwidth. You only have so much mental energy and focus each day.
Right, it's finite.
It's finite. And the argument here is that the top performers, the top 5%, they understand this deeply. They treasure those early morning hours that, frankly, most people waste or spend passively. By grabbing that solitude at 5 a.m. before the world intrudes, you fundamentally shift how you operate. You stop trying to frantically manage time, which just slips away anyway.
And start managing.
You start managing your focus, which, in today's distracted world, is arguably your most valuable asset.
Focus over time management. Yeah. That's interesting. And it all comes back to those daily wins, right? The small stuff.
Absolutely. The commitment is really to those micro wins, those tiny 1% improvements or course corrections every single day, getting the victory hour right today.
And the idea is that if you do that consistently, you create like a successful life in miniature each morning.
Exactly.
And that consistency stacks up over time into, well, what the source dramatically calls an epic existence.
Lofty goals, but built on small, consistent actions. And maybe we can leave you with one final thought, a provocative one from that billionaire mentor character.
Okay, let's hear it.
His maxim is, tomorrow is a bonus, not a right.
Wow. Okay. Heavy.
It is. But the purpose isn't to be morbid. It's to connect you with your own mortality, the fragility of life, to realize that your time is limited and your plans aren't guaranteed.
So it's a spur to action. Stop delaying things.
Exactly. Stop postponing your happiness. Stop postponing doing brave things. Stop postponing becoming the person you could be. Don't wait for the right time, because tomorrow is just a bonus.
So if the ultimate goal is to live a life that, mattered, a life well lived,
Yeah.
the question this whole deep dive leaves us with is maybe, what do you want people to say about how you lived your life once you're no longer here?
What will they whisper about how you used your days?
Definitely something to chew on.
Yeah.
Perhaps during your next moment of quiet reflection, maybe even at 5:20 a.m. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.